Welcome to Tabletop Topics. I'm your host, Jeff.
And of course, Jeff, guys, if you want to catch and watch our ugly mugs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and now YouTube Music. We also have our YouTube channel, one word, Tabletop Topics, our Triple T's Clips channel, and our TikTok. So if you click on the links, it'll take you directly to the episodes. And of course, we have timestamps so you can navigate throughout. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and of course, leave us a comment. Again, guys, thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. Let's jump right into it. What's up,
Does the camera
Jeff?
seem closer to me? I feel like the camera's really close. It didn't catch my yay.
You didn't catch your yay?
Yeah, it didn't catch my.
You want to zoom out?
Nah, I kind of feel like I'm gonna fuck up the camera. I think we're good for now. I just have to deal with it.
Okay.
So what's up, Jeff?
No, I asked you what's up. Nah, you can't. Nah, we're not doing the river. Nah, we ain't doing that. Oh, no, don't do that. We're not doing that.
No.
So what's up, Jeff? What's going on?
Man,
Yeah, talk to me. Talk to me. You know?
I don't know. I'm here, bro. I'm
What
existing.
do you mean you existing?
I exist, man. I'm following entropy, bro. I'm going where entropy takes me.
Forward, not
Right.
backwards.
Can't go back. Can't undo it. No,
No.
sirski. No, sirski. I remember, what was it earlier you were talking about? We were actually watching a video about like.
Yes, Nvidia just released. I'll let you explain because
No, not the Nvidia. I was going to talk about the butterfly effect.
the butterfly.
That's tough. See,
Oh yeah,
I
because
overloaded.
because I have to release all the information in my brain. So you're talking about automatons, and I told you I didn't know what that was, and then of course we dived in and.
Oh no. So do you want to go in order? Because automatons were like the second thing we looked at. Because we looked at.
Really, what was
we
the
looked
first
at
thing?
Nvidia.
Yeah, we did that.
And then I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be used for their Omniverse, robo training simulation.
Of course, and then
then
the video that you hated at
you were like,
Shangri-La.
You were like, oh, I'm dead. And you were like, and then you said something about, no, I think Mom asked the question. She was like, why are we so obsessed with robots? I was like, Mom, since the beginning of time, we've been obsessed with
Yes,
creating
automatons.
automaton. You know what I'm saying?
like,
And then Jeff's like, what's automaton? So I just kind of went through that rabbit hole of
we went to a rabbit hole of
explaining, or
Well,
showing you.
what an automaton is. That makes sense because they did on Ben 10 when I was a kid when he's like, you mindless automaton, but I never peeped what he meant by that. I thought that was just a big word he was using because he was a brain drain,
Right.
the crab alien. So I never peeped it or understood what it was about. I just assumed that he was just throwing some fake made up word. So yeah, man. Yeah, you kind of dove in on that. So I figured that basically it was animatronic or robots that they
Right,
had
like humans have always been fascinated
since ancient Greece.
Since ancient Greece.
Yeah.
Initially it was just kind of like used to build or loose explanations of how the human body works. How do you find out?
Hey, what's up, Jimmy? How we doing?
Jimmy.
No, and that's the thing too. That's why I said I kind of had a brain fart with Hercules the animated series when hey, I go chocolate.
On these hoes smoke in the Debo 2024. Welcome.
So no, I kind of had a brain fart when they from the Hercules the animated series back in the late 90s, early 2000s when Icarus was in that mechanical thing bicycling it and it was moving the giant statue, which brought up what you were showing me about ancient Greece where they they used a mechanical being to guard their city, so if any ship or anybody would come through, it would essentially pick them up, and it had a heated core where it would destroy and kill them all. So that was kind of something very interesting that I thought, because I thought the whole robot thing was just like, oh, it started with in the 1950s with these old TV
Right,
shows like
right.
Lost in Space, and then you jump into the Jetsons, and then you do all
Nah.
that stuff like that. But no, it's been here since ancient.
Ingrained in humanity.
Yeah.
We've always wanted to, like, that's always been the concept of us. Like, that's our
Mhm.
child. Building something in our image, or
Yeah.
as close to our image as we can.
Yeah, and I
You see
noticed
what I'm
that.
saying?
I noticed that. So that was a very interesting topic that we were discussing. But how did we get into? No, and then you jumped into another video. What was it? The butterfly
The
effect.
butterfly effect.
Yeah, and how it kind of affects.
Right, because it came to, what was it, like the chaos equation? I
Yes.
think? What was it called? The something lens equation? Give me a second. But yeah, go ahead and explain what you're talking about with the butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect? No, well, no. Okay, okay. So, the film The Butterfly Effect that came out in the early 2000s with Ashton Kutcher,
Mhm.
which was showing these scientists going through this timeline thing back in the prehistoric time, and they told them to stay on the path and not to touch anything because it could affect the timeline in the future. So since a T-Rex or whatever was coming to kill them, they started running back through the portal so they wouldn't die, and then one of them accidentally stepped on the butterfly, and it was like a massive one, or they did it on purpose or something like that. So my thing was when they went back, it started creating changes to everything, which was unraveling the entire universe, because everything that was supposed to happen the way it happened, I created the butterfly effect. Look at that smoke in with that. So after that, of course, Ashton Kutcher the character was able to travel forward and back until he can eventually fix it. And then the only way he knew he can fix it was to go back in time, and then Commander,
I am Shrimp. Welcome.
and
Welcome, brother.
and basically say don't step on the butterfly, and it kind of did the timeline. I'm like, okay, if I'm comparing that to Loki. If you affect the timeline, it usually creates a new strand in the timeline. But when you look at what happened with the butterfly effect, he just went. He was basically, and I remember you explained to me, if you had to be like a fourth dimensional being, like they did in Interstellar with Christopher Nolan as the director, with Matthew McConaughey as the main character, that you would have to be a fourth dimensional being to actually move not linear, but backwards with the timeline on the same thing. Other than that, you're just creating a new branch in a new universe.
Right.
So my question to you was, how was it possible for him to do that, seeing how he's not a fourth dimensional being, to just warn them back in the day not to do it in order to erase everything moving forward?
And why he disappeared, right?
Yeah, and why did he disappear?
Why
Yes.
did he disappear? And I think like the explanation I gave you was like, what was it? Entropy doesn't allow like
Yeah.
going back in time. You know what I'm saying? So even with that example, with that understanding, it's like, if let's say we're existing in our timeline, right?
Yeah.
We've already done what we've done through time, and I decide I want to go back in time. Well, if I go back in time, like, what happens to me here?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? What happens to all the entropy that I have, went through or exerted going through time? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if I remove myself from a timeline without dying or anything like that to go back in time, I'm disrupting the entropy of,
Which is
forward
why,
movement
which
of
is
time.
why it's linear. You can't move backwards. You
Right.
can only move forwards, which is why an example I
You
gave you with
can't-
Flash.
You can't unpop the popcorn.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? Like, the laws of entropy don't allow that. Like, it's impossible. You know what I'm saying? So even going back in time, you're disrupting the entropy of the timeline you were in. So ultimately, you could end up deleting the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know for sure, but like, what I would assume is you end up deleting the universe because you
Entirely, because you stopped whatever the effect that
Right.
caused the entire
right.
thing to unravel. I got
Right.
you.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, if the universe included you in its an expansion and you just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No, keep going.
Oh, and you just disappeared, like, I don't know, like, it's like, prime example, right? That's like me and you. Let me see if I could explain this in my most craziest example ever, right? So me and you are popcorn, I guess, right?
Uh huh.
And we're heating up. Okay, we're kernels,
Okay.
and we're going to become popcorn.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So, in the middle of us becoming popcorn, I decide to, stop halfway and go back to a point in time before I became popcorn. You see what I'm saying?
Would you say when they planted you, or would you say when
But
you became the corn?
But your timeline, like the timeline we are on, still continues. You see what I'm saying? If I just disappear before becoming popcorn to go back in time to a point before I was popcorn, I'm bringing the energy that I had before I was turning into popcorn to before I was popcorn.
Which would disrupt the flow.
Which would disrupt the entropy of the universe.
Okay.
Like I'm bringing more energy back in time.
So you're basically like an anomaly in a place that you're not supposed to be.
You're
in.
not supposed to be there.
Gotcha.
Because like the what is it? The universe goes from a higher state to a lower state.
Yes.
So I said that reverse. So I'd be bringing lower energy to a point in time where there was higher energy.
Okay. All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's just like, it just doesn't make sense. Like if you're looking at the universe as one equilibrium, like everything is equal and energy is evenly being dispersed from higher to lower energy. You know what I'm saying? If you're at a point in time of lower energy and you go to a point in time where there's higher energy, it doesn't work that way, because that's just a law. Like I can't.
It's like the law of physics.
Right.
Everything that goes up must come down. It's not the opposite direction unless you're Superman.
You know what I'm saying? Well,
I'm just saying.
Captain, Major, and what the f you mean obey?
Blasphemous.
I am blasphemous nuggets, and you will obey.
You what?
Bruh.
Is there a coup happening in the chat?
It looks like there is. They're fighting to take Smoke's position.
I'm dead. Captain Major, what the fuck you mean obey? I'm dead. But yeah, I don't know. Like, that's the way my brain is understanding it, and that's the way I can explain it to you.
I got you, man.
You see what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that, like, there's more mathematics behind it, but ain't no one trying to do all that shit.
No.
Ain't no one trying to hear all that
Just
bull.
put it in a simplistic term.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that actually led into, like, the whole, the butterfly effect. Led into the whole Nvidia and the cloud computing. What was it? 10 billion
Teraflops.
Terabits.
I think it was teraflops.
It was terabytes, not
Terabytes.
teraflops. Yeah.
Terabytes are higher than teraflops.
Teraflops is something
Entirely different. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
10 billion. I'm thinking, and I don't even think a wormhole can let you travel back. No.
Yeah. Well, and that's why when they came out with Interstellar, Neil deGrasse Tyson actually weighed in on that. Like, they got his help because he said he helped with the production of that film. He basically just gave his theory on black holes because nobody knows what happens. No one knows what happens. So Christopher Nolan, when he was filming Interstellar, he basically says, all right, if this is the best theory that you got, this is the best I will get, because everything else they got essentially right or close to being right. So he's like, all right, if we'll just go with that theory. If you go into a black hole, it's literally a timeline. It's literally traveling back to the same timeline, becoming a fourth dimensional being, being able to affect what will progress into the future. And I think that's what he was trying to go off of, because he got a couple astrophysicists to help him with that before he made the film. And
like, he's someone who likes to be super accurate.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in terms of like his movies and stuff like that. I get it, because I remember, what was it? Neil deGrasse Tyson's biggest critique for Titanic was, the constellations were out of place for that point in time.
And nobody
And
focused
no
on that.
one realized
Because they're
that.
focused on
They're like, that's not what
Leonardo.
the sky looked at that point in time.
So
When the
technically.
Titanic sank, I was just like, jeez, bro, like, come on.
But if you travel.
But if you travel, Jimmy says, but if you travel through a wormhole and you get a telescope that can zoom in to the Earth, you'll see dinosaurs. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. But
Land
like,
Before Time, part 1 through 6.
you would have to travel faster than the light that already left Earth if you wanted to see dinosaurs. Like, at this point in time, we will never see dinosaurs no matter how far we go out into the universe. Because the light that left Earth left before we were even born. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
the only way you could potentially see dinosaurs is if you can find a planet or terrestrial body that's the exact or maybe a little more light years away from you than the amount of years it took for the dinosaurs to, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I feel it.
So it's like, let's say the dinosaurs were, the last dinosaur was 65 million years ago, right? So traveling at the speed of light, minimum you'd have to be at least 66 million light years away
In order to be
from
able
the Earth to be able to see the last of the dinosaurs.
I feel it.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's just watching them die.
Right. So you'd have to travel faster than light. Not at light, faster than light. And then,
The Flash.
right, you'd have to observe. Yeah, that's actually super crazy. It's like everything we're looking at.
past.
Millions of years old. Millions of years. Like, we could see a star and it blew up a billion years ago.
But it looks like it's happening now.
But it's
for us.
still like the light's barely reaching us now. I don't know. It's just it's pretty cool. It's pretty fucking cool. But that goes into the whole Nvidia thing. Like, we watched their press conference for essentially the future of, you know, AI and cloud computing and stuff like that, and how everything's going to be on the Blackwell infrastructure. You already have Amazon Web Services on it. Google, Microsoft is building on it. A lot of the world's data centers, a lot of the world's monetary transaction centers are running on this thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's a slow.
And it changes like the idea of computing. It takes all the actual modular parts out of computing, and it focuses it all on this chip. Graphics processing is on this chip. Data processing is on this chip. Everything is on this chip. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to buy RAM. You don't need to buy hard drives or solid state drives. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is happening on this chip. What was it? 50 billion transistors? That's stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah, because the laser light is what's in.
No. 10 trillion transistors to 50 trillion. And then it has a 10 billion terabytes per second processing speed. And then the upgrade from that that's crazy. Smoke the Reaper. The Reaper Army has asked me to cover this one topic. Could the stern of the Titanic stay afloat after breakup?
All right, man. Yeah, when we invite you back on, we can do that.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Can the stern of the
Because we're gonna do a history tabletop topics.
facts.
We tend
I love those.
to throw that, and
I love those.
Vic will be the lead.
I love those. Heck yeah. But what interested you about that whole video, man? Because like I know what I can take away from that, but I just want to hear like your entire. How do you take all that information in, especially like the Hubble telescope? So Jimmy says the Hubble telescope can see several billion years, so we could see the light without traveling faster. Yeah, we can see the light, but like by the time that light reaches us, like what we're looking at is in the past, so we will never know currently. Like, for you to see the dinosaurs, you would have to be on that planet we're looking at. That's 65 million light years away.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But for you, because like we can't see the light that's leaving us once it's left us. Only those out there can see us. You see what I'm saying? But I understand what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. The Hubble. So we'll be like, yeah, man. Especially that James Webb. That James Webb is still like changing so much of what we thought about what the universe was actually like and how it formed and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. And we have like more powerful telescopes planned for the future, because the way I see it is the James telescope was just the test. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, is this feasible? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
How are the results? Da da da. Now they're building like, I think France is building one that's like 30 times bigger.
Yeah.
It's like massive, and it's supposed to see even further back in time. I don't even know what that even's supposed to mean. Like, what are we even going to do with that information at that point? Facts. I mean, only if we go through a wormhole.
Yeah, they're gonna have to build a
Right.
sustainable.
But that's the thing, though. Like,
tech for that. That's gonna be like the year 22 something.
even through a wormhole, it's like you don't know what point in space you're being connected to.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, zoom out of the planet, right? Like, what galactic filament are we in? What galactic cluster are we in? What local system are we in? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's our spatial plane? What's our orientation in space compared to other planets? You see what I'm saying? Like, prime example, like our solar system's plane is tilted. So the way they show us is everything is flat. Like
Flat
when
and
you're in
standing
school, everything is flat. Everything's going around the sun in a flat disk. But unfortunately, the sun is practically like this, and we're orbiting the sun perpendicular to the plane of the galaxy. So if this is the Milky Way, this is the orientation of the sun, and we're flying this way. So it's like if you had a donut ring flying forward in space, and we're just orbiting. So it's like, it's all about, that's why it's like space and time, because it's like where and when.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we could go through a wormhole, but where and when? And the only reason why I say when is because time fluctuates. Time isn't even throughout all of space. Different masses and different bodies in space affect time differently. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's like an
Interstellar.
well, not just Interstellar. It's like Voyager too. Like when they accidentally went through the wormhole, and then they ended up discovering a new system. They started mapping the entire system, figured out that the Borg was actually, that was the Borg of the past,
Right.
that hadn't gone to Earth yet,
Right.
or the other planets to assimilate it so they can become who they are today.
Right.
So I get that. But how I feel about it, it reminds me of Steven Spielberg's film that came out in 2015 or 2016 called Ready Player One. Because they already, Nvidia already tag team with the
Vision Pro.
the Vision Pro, and those look exactly like the goggles that were from Ready Player One.
They do, don't it?
So yeah, so it's like everything.
You
Everything.
think that was an Apple advertisement?
But that's what I'm
Like a
saying. So
pre-Apple
anybody
advertisement.
who watches anime knows what Shangri-La is, and how it and how they'll literally put on the visors. We talked about that episode last week too. How it puts on the visors, and then they go into the world, and they can be any character that they want to be. But at the same time, they're also, like they said, the space that they created for the robots is also being created for people too. But also, it's an algorithm learning AI that can teach the robots how to do what they need to do. And they showed an example
In a simulated world.
in the simulated world, because and then of course it learns how to perfect itself. And then they showed a live demonstration of one of the androids from Star Wars, where they literally built the thing. They put it.
Yeah, it's an actual robot.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
it's
like a
an actual robot.
bullshit. Like
No,
costume or
it
nothing.
walked on stage.
Because even Disney's doing robotics research.
Yes.
In AI research.
Yeah.
Which is mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know, to even think about that. Like Disney is getting into tech, and well, it would make sense, right? But I don't know, man. Like
The
that's
global powers, they will take over the world. Disney, BlackRock, everybody. I can't say more.
I'm dead, right? Laser,
Right.
just-
We have to cancel the entire
Oh
show.
man.
Right.
Sexual chocolate. That's a funny question. Do you think the Titanic would have stayed afloat if it rammed into the berg head
Bruh, I
on?
like how Vic said stay tuned and y'all still asking questions.
You what?
Vic's like, stay tuned, niggas.
We said, Blasphemous Nugget, why does the bridge look the way it does on the wreck? I'm dead. I'm dead. But yeah, like anything else, like just
The communication thing.
was it called Humane?
I believe so. So, like we talked about.
But that's not a new thing though.
It's not, but it's now available to the public because last year it was they were showing something new, and now it's available to the public. But no, there's something I want to focus on because I watched a film yesterday and
Right.
it was called The Sadness, and I know you had a word for brain function or something like that. There was like a higher and a lower.
What, a
There's
higher brain and a lower brain?
higher brain and lower brain. So, do you think people still asking questions? Anything else y'all want to know? Stay tuned. Vic's like, stay tuned.
Oh man, I'm dead.
No, so I was watching a film called The Sadness. It was a Korean movie. It was basically like a different. Do you think people get stuff? Noted. Stay tuned.
I'm dead.
Vic is crazy,
You
man.
think people got sucked into the funnel?
Yep, they did. Stay tuned. Stay tuned,
All right,
guys.
go ahead.
As
go
Vic,
ahead.
as Vic is ripping his hair out.
No, these questions. Oh man, go ahead.
Sucked into the funnel. Stay tuned. I'll let you know when I'm back on. I love it. It's awesome. So I was watching a film called The Sadness, and it was basically like a zombie film, but it was more focused on people giving up, like the virus took over and it would bring down their defenses in the sense of whatever they always wanted.
Their inhibitions.
Their inhibitions, basically their inhibitions. So anything that they ever wanted to do, their morality kicked in, and they didn't do it because it's called higher brain function.
Like a higher brain.
Yeah, so there's a higher brain function. You explained this to me because I didn't even know that was a thing. Higher brain function and lower brain function. All animals have lower brain. Not all animals. Some animals have lower brain functions, like dogs, cats.
Everything's innate.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
innate. It's instinctual. It's not. No, stay tuned. It's instinctual. It's not like if we tell Bruce, when Bruce goes outside to use the restroom and he hears a noise, he'll run towards it
Immediately.
without thinking.
Question.
Well,
Nothing.
for us, we'll question. We're like, fuck no. But because he's going in there, we question it. Give me. Oh,
Give me
okay.
a snap and disco. Absolutely. Baby.
Yeah.
I'll shoot it to you.
Yeah. So he's like, so that's an instinctual thing. Where for us, we'll question it before we go. If it's a family member or anything like that, of course, we'll run in towards because it's dangerous. But for some reason, they lost their inhibition. You said, right?
Mhm.
They lost their inhibition to hold back any and every impulse that they were doing. So basically, murder, grape, killing, setting things on fire.
I want to peel your flesh.
I want to peel your flesh, deleting themselves.
That's
So
crazy.
it's like it was like it, and it was a zombie virus because they would chase you, and if they were to throw up on you or throw up on an open wound or
I hate that.
or bite you, oh, that like 28 days later.
You know how L that is, bro? Like,
Yeah.
man, you get a pinprick. Like, it's not even like no cool wound. Like, my leg got shot off.
Mhm.
You know, like, or I got stabbed. Nope. Pinprick, accidentally touch zombie blood, you're a zombie.
That's it. Well, that's
L.
why I didn't like 28 days later or
L,
28
I was
weeks later
dumb.
because 28 weeks later was the worst.
Leave my army alone before I go on. Gone on defense. bro.
Gone on,
Go on.
bruh.
Oof.
Ooh. Spell check.
Oof. Avig. I'll let that slide, bro. Shit, timbers. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So, So the perspective that I took the film is very different because I was not necessarily, and it was a good movie too. The ending, I think they could have done a little bit better, but the film was different because it's like,
Is it? Do you feel like that's a cop out ending?
it was,
Like the whole everybody died.
yeah, it was a cop out ending because he spoiler alert, he injected the virus into the girl's neck to see if she would be immune to it, and of course she was immune, but because she didn't show up on the roof with the doctor, they just shot her on command because of course she had blood on her, so they assumed
She was one of them.
she was one of them.
That's
So they
tough.
didn't even question it, but it's like it goes into a morality type thing. It's like, damn, because our big brain is stronger than our lower brain. It prevents us from doing certain things. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think morality is instinctual and then we learn to be? It's kind of like when, what was it? When I wrongfully said, we're born in sin.
Yes,
Okay.
you wrongfully said that.
Yeah.
You changed your mind about that.
No, when we were having a discussion, I forgot who we were having a discussion. Or maybe that was like a side discussion I had. And they're like, no, we're not born in sin. We're born innocent. And then, like,
We're born innocent or born into sin.
into sin.
Okay, I heard innocent.
Right. And I forgot who else having this discussion. Well, it could have been Jimmy, I think. It could have been Jimmy. And it was, what did the person say? I'm not going to say it was you, Jimmy. I'm just going to say the person. And then the person was like, no one's born into sin. We just commit sin or something like that. Something, I forgot what they said. But it goes into the whole question is like, is morality like innate? Like being good and bad. Is that innate? Or is that something that like
We learn.
we learn? Like if a kid is, a kid, right? He doesn't know right from wrong, but then like he kills an animal, right? He did something bad, but only after he did the bad thing, you can tell him that was bad. But in the act of doing it and him not knowing it's bad, is he bad?
But yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I would say this in the back of the kid's mind, because you know how certain kids will torture animals until it doesn't move, because in their mind the animal's not screaming. Like if a kid gets hurt, they cry, they scream. But when some kids usually torture animals, the animal doesn't do said thing. Like let's say a turtle,
Right.
or a goldfish or a lizard, like they don't scream. So in their mind they're like, oh, I'm cutting off the tail, but the animal's not screaming. I'm putting this animal in turmoil, hot water. Let's say a tortoise in hot water, like actively hurting that tortoise or anything like that. And it's not screaming. So let me continue to do this said thing until the tortoise or fish or thing doesn't move. And then they start to feel bad and start to cry. So to me, I think that's instinctual after the fact.
So is it instinctual to do bad things?
Bad things, yes. We teach good. Because the first thing that, remember, a kid lies before you teach him not to lie or her not to lie. Because when you ask a
I
child,
thought kids were more truthful, though. We teach them not to lie because we tell them the truth hurts. Oh, you shouldn't say that.
yes, but
You shouldn't,
yes, but do you notice sometimes when you are when you see a kid do a bad thing and you, as a parent, say, "Did you do that?" and the first thing that comes
And
out
they'll
their
lie.
no, it wasn't me. Even though they have chocolate all over their face or crayon or crayon all over their hands that scribbled on the wall or anything like that, the first instinctual thing they do is say no. So yes, kids are truth tellers, but when it comes to them,
Right.
they lie.
They lie.
So and that's why we as human beings, we teach them to tell the truth. So we're essentially asserting our own morality or our own set of rules on children.
Or compass, right.
A moral compass on children to show them what is right and wrong, which is why when we view another human being kill another human being, it's a bad thing. But in somebody else's eyes that's never been taught that, they don't see it as good or bad. They think it's normal because no one has ever taught them it's bad to do said thing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I think that's how we gotta look at it. What's Jimmy say?
Jimmy says Neil deGrasse Tyson did an episode with somebody, and there's a string possibility. We have no free will.
Yeah, free will. Yeah, we had that episode on with David. David said, "Is free will free, or is it an illusion of being free?" Remember that episode?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where essentially,
I mean, like, there's levels to this.
Yeah, there
like,
is.
if you wanna, like, at what level are we even? You know what I'm saying? Like, at what level are we even talking about?
what are we
Like,
talking about? Because
right.
it's like you saying God laid a path for me, so it's like it doesn't matter what direction I go, I'm gonna head towards that path. Or is it I chose the path for myself that led me to said area or thing or person or being? So it all depends on how you look at it. But it's everybody has a different answer for that. So that's going to be a difficult question.
Like, if you could calculate every interaction or every action you take, like, yeah, you could say it's an infinite string of possibilities. You see what I'm saying? Well, not even maybe an infinite string of possibilities. There's probably an equation that you can use to solve your, like, to predict what your next move is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What is that? The Navier-Stokes equation. The Navier-Stokes equation. No one has ever fully, completely, like, solved this equation because, like, its effects are even, like, observed on a molecular level. Literally any little change in, like, something as simple as a molecule
Gotcha.
of air can, you know, have long-lasting effects on how the world changes. And you could apply that to anything. What's the possibility of you getting in your car today, you know, brushing your teeth for 3 minutes, 2 minutes? You know what I'm saying? That's all calculable.
Unless you literally have a stopwatch calculating how long you brush your teeth.
Well, no, not even the time. The chances, like probability. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I see what you're saying.
Like, probability defeats free will. If there's a probability for every choice you make, then you're not really free.
Because
You know
if
what I'm
if that said action was always supposed to happen, then it will happen. It's like I always use the example, That's So Raven, that Disney Channel, the girl that can see the future. Didn't matter what direction or way she took, or even if she did nothing, it would still lead to the same outcome.
Right.
So every time she tried to stop it, it would just happen. So at the end of the day, you can look at it any way you want to, but that's a question you would have to ask yourself.
I think universally, like, everything's calculable.
Yeah,
and if it's calculable, it's not necessarily free. We just don't understand the boundaries of, you know, how far this calculation goes. Like, there's probably an equation out there, or like I just said, you know what I'm saying, where you could calculate everything to the T. You can predict everything. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we just haven't figured it out yet. There's, like, dumbed down versions of it where you have to break it down into 3 separate equations, but altogether, you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's just levels to it. Like, in terms of free will, right? Like, are we, yes, we're free to do this broadcast, but around rigid constraints.
Yeah, you know, like, we have to be careful what we say, or if a specific word comes out of our mouth, we will be
and even in all this process, we can't break any laws. We can't, you know.
Even acquiring a business license or anything like that, they do a background check. They got to make sure you're not a criminal. They do all that stuff like that. So it all goes into account, because they're not just gonna. And that's why they say is free will free? So I mean,
choices are free.
Choice.
That's the only thing you got.
It's an illusion.
Right, I know, right? Even choice could
Choices
be
are an illusion.
Yeah, even choice could be an illusion.
Like even Andrew Wilson was saying, are rights really rights,
Right,
or is that something that's given?
right. Yeah,
But then that's another subject.
right. You know what I'm saying? You're afforded or given rights.
Yep.
But other than that, like, nah. Like, even to, yeah, it's nice to believe we have free will. You know what I'm saying?
But there's limitations.
But
to
there's
that,
limitations. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but you're free in your mind. At least I'm safe inside my mind. I'm telling you, bro. Everything's a SpongeBob reference.
Yep.
Everything's a
Lee to
SpongeBob.
Lee.
Everything. You could literally just explain life with SpongeBob references. Yeah, man. That's just how I see everything. Like, especially with, robotics. I remember you said something weird, right? Like the guy sitting in that conference room.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, you're coming in here to be presented with something that's gonna replace you.
Yes, and that's what was crazy because they're saying that these engineers are creating these AIs that are engineer AIs, but the AI engineers are there to replace them. So it's like unless there's any benefit to them or they don't want to work anymore or anything like that, you guys are essentially losing your job. So it's like, is it worth it? But again, too, you cannot stop progression. Entropy is, like you said, is moving forward. You can't go backwards. So it's like once you open the floodgates to the possibilities of all that, and it's like now I understand. Now I understand why their jobs are becoming less hours.
Right.
Same pay.
They're cutting down hours.
Yeah.
They're giving. Yeah. You know what I'm
So
saying?
now instead of 40 hours a week, it'll be 32 hours a week, and then you have 3 days off. But then that's where the whole "you will own nothing and you will be happy" comes in, because they're slowly trying to take people out of working and then slowly introducing robots,
replacing the workforce
with robots. And of course, like they always say, if that's the case, then it has to be replaced with some type of income that can sustain. Yes, you'll have more time, but unless everything
right, that's why they're paying you the same amount of. So it's like
you're getting paid $20 an hour for working 32 hours. Yes, you're going to work more. No, 32 hours. It's 32
okay,
hours.
so like I'm going to give a loose example of how they're implementing this. What was it? It was a bill, right, that Congress is introducing for the 32-hour work week.
Yes.
So it's supposed to be, so you're going to keep your same
Pay.
annual pay. You see what I'm saying? It's just your hours are going to be less. So what's going to feel like a pay increase isn't. They're just cutting your hours and stretching your pay to fit those hours.
Yes.
So if someone says, "Oh yeah, we raise the wages to 25 an hour, but we cut the hours down to 32 hours."
So instead of working 8 hours, you're working 7 hours a day now, but you're getting paid the same.
I don't know. I just think that's another pathway to bullshit and screwing everyone over.
Of course, and people that don't do their due diligence and
are gonna think this is a good thing. Wow, I'm getting paid more and working less hours.
Exactly. Or I'm getting paid the same and working less hours. But it's like, yeah, you're getting you're essentially you're getting cucked. You're getting like cucked so hard, bro. But a lot of people aren't gonna do their due diligence and find out what is the underlining shitty part of it. They're just gonna throw it into them, and if it's approved, then they'll throw it to the states, and then they'll make it sound good. And then people are just gonna be like, yes, less hours, more time with my family, this and that. You get a 3-day weekend instead of 2 days off. All this stuff like that, not realizing that there's always a downside to it. But they're only gonna tell you about the upsides.
Right.
And I think
my issue.
That's all I was.
Were you reading a comment?
No, I was gonna say, and I think that's not a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing.
Oh no, absolutely not. Like if you look at the way my schedule works, I still yes, I have 3 days off, but I'm still working 40-hour work weeks.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Why do you need to cut it down?
Why? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
give me the 3 days, but keep the 40 hours.
Right. Give me the 3 days.
But let me work the 8 hours.
Right. Let me work the 8 hours. But I don't know. I guess it looks better if someone says, "Oh yeah, I'm making 25, 30 an hour
For 32 hours a
for
week.
32 hours a week," and it's like, I
Hey,
don't
man.
know.
Good luck to you.
I don't know. Sounds like a finesse to me. Sounds like a finesse to me. Yes, sir. Anything else? Anything else interesting? Oh, yeah. Anything else interesting that we scrubbed through today?
No, not today. It was, I think it was yesterday. Like you showed me something. I can't remember what it was. But I know that you and I were talking about doing like clips.
Clips.
Yeah, like we get with the crew and then like watch clips and then kind of discuss it.
Reactions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
I got you. Kind of like give our like live
yeah.
reaction. I gotta be careful with. I gotta get a new fucking what do you call these?
Oh, they think you're naked.
Right. I be looking naked on this bitch.
Nah,
bro.
he's not
Like
naked.
I'm wearing a muumuu. What the
Allegedly.
hell? This crazy. I did not think this through. That's crazy.
Oh boy.
Oh,
No,
boy.
yeah. So I was thinking about that. Like,
Yeah, I think that.
and then we can get, and even if the chat wants to send in their own, especially if they want us to,
We could have a chat. Like send us your.
send us your own suggestions, and we can kind of have a conversation, talk, or even
Right.
react to it, and give you our opinions on it if you are curious. Because I know sometimes that we'll talk about a lot of things, but I know
We want to know what you guys are interested
yes, exactly. So just to interact with you, especially what you watch day to day, and of course, you can send it to our email. It's the same as our YouTube channel. It's tabletoptopics@gmail.com. But no, yeah, it'd be nice for if you guys want to send us clips, and then we can react to it, and then of course give us your opinion on it, and then we can go from there. We wanted to try something different because I know you and I always have topics of conversations
Right.
on here, and then of course they'll come in and then have a conversation with us too. But yeah, we can try something different, man.
I like
'Cause,
that.
yeah, the show's forever evolving.
I like that. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
What did we watch?
An anime? What is it? Something? Ninja's Ninja?
Kuma.
Ninja Kamui.
Kamui.
Ninja
Kamui.
Kamui. On,
Done by 3 different animators.
Right, you saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, that was different.
See, because episode 1, I'm thinking, why does this feel like you pointed out the Boondocks?
Mm-hmm.
It had like the animation style of the Boondocks,
Boondock
but
style.
as the show started going, like we started getting more, like whatchamacallit,
It shifted
like
to
A1 Pictures
Mhm.
or fucking what's the other one? Kadokawa type
Mhm.
animation. I don't know. They was just jumping all over the place. Maybe it was like a collaboration project with a
Yeah.
bunch of different artists, the same way they did with season 1 of One Punch Man.
Yeah, I
Right.
remember that.
That was really cool. I like that. And I know they do that a lot with One Piece. I remember when you guys used to react to clips in the beginning. I like. All right, Jimmy.
Okay, yeah, cool beans.
All right, for sure,
And,
Jimmy.
and like I said too, like if you have any suggestions, you can send it to our email,
Right.
or of course, Jimmy, you have our number, or you can send it to our Instagram, and we can definitely react to it on on the channel, just to get you guys' reaction, because I know there's a lot that happens out on the internet, and of course
we can't cover it all.
yeah,
we be missing shit too. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly. So if you guys catch something that we don't, then we can definitely jump on that.
We love that.
What was the name of that A24 film that I watched?
Midsummer.
Midsummer. Yes. Bruh.
That's crazy.
That was a good movie.
That's crazy.
That was a good movie. It was suggested by...
What did they? What do they always say? They're like, "Oh, you should travel to this country in Europe," and then they stitched that one motherfucker like, what was it? Do they like niggas or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Do they like?
Oh, yeah.
that's facts.
When they're like, all black people are accepted in Ireland.
Yeah, I like to
Like,
go
this
on
is
a
the best.
European tour.
This is the best trip I've ever had. There's no racism.
Right.
Blah blah blah.
Right.
I'm like
You
Jeff.
feel me?
we can check it out. I mean, we got our passports last year, so
Right.
we might as well check it out, see what happens.
I'd like to go on the European tour.
I would like to go on
But
your
the real
tour,
question
but
is,
like you
do
said,
they like niggas? Do they like niggas?
and like you said, if you see a whole bunch of woods, we walk the opposite direction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, let's
You
go
what?
camping in the fucking
Nah, bro, you can go by yourself. I'm not doing that.
Norwegian mountains
Mm-mm.
or some shit. Like,
Nope.
nah, the Swedish Alps or something. I don't fucking know.
Nope.
It's like, no.
You got some
motherfucker,
Norse ancient
Yeah,
gods.
that's what they do. Them that Norse witchcraft and shit.
Well,
That's
we were talking about it too. We're like, if we go, we're taking Vic with us because
absolutely
he'll be
as
either
a sacrifice.
as a sacrifice, or he'll help us. He'll help us like not go that route. And then if you say we're taking a shortcut, I'm leaving your ass because that's some shit that Negroes don't do. So I ain't doing that because I'm not trying to die for nobody. You know.
Hey, I got natural camouflage.
So-
All I gotta do is wait till nightfall, motherfucker. I'm
Yep,
naked.
exactly. And I've already played Until Dawn.
the fuck?
And then everybody survived except for that girl at the end. But that's because I avoided all that shit. It said, "Do you want to run or do you want to hide?" I said, "My black ass is hiding because I ain't
Oh,
running."
you hit? You didn't run?
Yeah, it gives you two options because we were in the tunnels with the mining tunnels, and the Banshee was running towards us, and I think it was the Asian girl and the black guy, and it basically said, "You have two choices." Gave me about 10 seconds to choose. It said, "Do you want to run or do you want to hide?" My black ass said, "I'm hiding. I ain't got no time to be tired." So I went right behind.
Shit, ain't got time to be
Nah, I ain't got no
tired,
time to be
bro.
tired. So I went right behind the wall and hit there.
Okay, see, here's the issue with running. I mean, with hiding. When you're hiding, when do you stop hiding?
When the Banshee heard a noise, it ran away because it heard another student.
What if that motherfucker went into sleep mode?
No, it was active. It was like
Like, how does this banshee appear? Is it summoned? Does it come out of a portal?
no. It's like a four-legged running human.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, and then it had like
Guns don't work.
no.
Wait, you can't even bring guns in there.
they went to the mountains.
Right, you can't
Yeah.
even bring guns out there.
It was a trip to the mountains,
Right.
and then of course the one bridge that they
They
can get.
love that shit.
Yep, it was in the snowy mountains, and the one bridge that they can get over got
It's always the
yep
bridge.
destroyed.
If I only see one bridge, I'm not going. Like,
Well, didn't you
come
do
on,
that
bro.
when you went to Tennessee with your boys?
No, there was more than one. No, that we were on the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Like, we were driving.
Well, they were in the mountains.
No, that was scary as hell. It was like 2 a.m., bro.
Mm-hmm.
There's no lights on the mountain. We're driving on the, like, do you understand how crazy this is? Like, there's no barrier to keep you from falling off
So
the
if you
mountain.
fall asleep, you're dead.
You're done. You know what I'm saying? And it's black as shit. Even your high beams don't work because there's nothing for the light to bounce back off of.
Okay.
Because, you know, like, because there's so many curves and twists and turns.
Yeah,
You're making a turn and your high beams are on. You just see the cliff.
pitch black.
Yeah, because the road just falls off right on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So this was when me and my boy Luke, he's usually in the chat
Mm-hmm.
all the time, but like Luke, we're just kind of, you know, swerving through, you know, cross country, swerving through the mountain, the mountain roads, and like, I don't know, that shit was wild as hell. And I'm just looking out the window and I just see the edge of the mountain. Like, we're above what was it? Where were we? Chattanooga?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Chattanooga. Could have been Nashville. No, it was Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
It was Chattanooga, because that's closer to the mountains, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. The Smoky Mountains? No, not Smoky Mountains. Yeah, the Smoky Mountains. Are the Smoky Mountains?
You're asking the wrong black guy because I've been to
The Pocono?
the eastern
The
part.
Poconos?
Poconos, New York City,
Right.
Georgia,
Right.
Washington,
I feel that.
Nashville, Tennessee. Like
I feel
I
that.
haven't
But
gone.
go ahead. We sidetracked. Go
I
ahead.
haven't gone
My
that
fault.
direction. Oh wait, no. I was talking about some what was it called?
Midsummer.
Midsummer. Oh, that was a good movie. Of course, the black guy died.
Immediately. In the worst way possible.
In the worst, yes, he got bludgeoned. So
That's crazy.
yeah, he got bludgeoned on the head. The movie came out 2019, so if you haven't seen it, that's on you. It's 2024.
Wait, who's the motherfucker they had opened up like an exhibition? Like, literally, they flayed this guy and then hung all his organs on hooks,
Yeah.
had him suspended,
Yeah.
and had his back like butterflied
Mhm.
open. like some lobster,
and
bro.
he was still alive.
Yeah, and he was still alive
Because his lungs were
still breathing
in and out.
contracting
Yeah,
and
they were exhaling.
That's some crazy painkillers.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's something that they do. Apparently, it's something that they do every 90 years. They celebrate. They celebrate the May Queen every 90 years, but they do the ceremony every summer. So so basically, if ages, you're supposed to do certain things, but when you hit 75, they're like, instead of suffering old age and preventing the inevitable, you end up going through the entire ceremony and all that stuff like that, and then you delete yourself at the end by jumping off the mountain. So when these college students that were there to do their dissertation so they can get their PhD saw that shit, it was like, what the fuck? Call 911. What are you doing? This is bullshit. And then they're trying to explain to them, this is a tradition. This is what we do.
Right, this is a culture.
This is a culture. This is what we do every summer. They're like, no, call 911. Help. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and
what's that one?
well, they couldn't even give it away. So there was no cell phone signal. They couldn't give away the location. But the elders were saying that they can do their report on it. They just can't use real names. They can't take pictures, and they can't give away the location. So where the black guy fucked up is, after they showed them their book, so it was like their own personal Bible. After he was shown the book, he's like, "Can I take a picture of it?" He's like, "No, we said you couldn't take a picture." So he leaves his shoes on at night, wakes up, sneaks into the area, like their church hall that he wasn't supposed to be in, and he starts taking pictures.
Oh
no! And then because there was 4 of them, so one of the friends, a girl, took them into the woods, never came back. And then when he finally saw his friend, they were wearing his skin, so he was dead.
Be like One Piece, the jacket fruit.
Yeah, well, that was different because he just flattened himself. There was still organs. There were still organs.
They wore him with his organs intact?
No. They threw his organs out and they just had the skin.
That's crazy. Like, they hunted that motherfucker?
Yeah. Well, the girl took him into the woods because he thought he was gonna get some poom, and that ended up happening. They filleted his ass. So because he not only peed on their ancestors' ancient tree, because after the older people delete themselves, they'll basically burn them, turn them into ash, and then they'll pour they'll pour their ashes into the dying tree where they bury all their ancestors. And he just walked over and peed it. And he's like, "Whoa, why are you guys getting upset? I didn't know, blah blah blah." So he basically was the asshole of the movie.
That's tough.
So they took him into the woods.
Wait, so he deserved to die because he didn't know?
Yes.
That's tough.
Because he's
ignorance?
So ignorance,
That's
yes.
Tough.
Well, the thing is, they choose 2 people.
So they already know who's going to die.
Yes. Well, because remember,
it didn't matter if he pissed on it or not.
No. Because they got to try to keep their bloodline pure. So you already know the Indian people were out. The British Indian people were out, and you already knew the black guy was out. Yeah, right. Because everybody had blonde hair, blue eyes, right. And the only person that had that set character
was the boyfriend.
Was the boyfriend and the girl. So they decided that the boyfriend was an asshole. They decided that the girl was perfect to become part of the ceremony. She became the May Queen, and then of course she had decision because they had to sacrifice 9 people every summer in order so they can have a bountiful season of harvest food, all that stuff like that. Yes, basically. So
fuck you, some Miracle Grow motherfucker. What the hell? Why the hell we killing motherfuckers?
Old tradition.
We got fertilizer.
But it's like,
what the hell?
But it's like, no, I saw the psychological effect of the film, right, and what it took to get her where she was at, where she ended up sacrificing the boy, because they just needed the boyfriend's seed to impregnate so they can continue the lineage. And then everybody else was just collateral damage. So they had to choose. So they basically send these kids out when they become college students They find them, bring them back, and then they continue the ceremony or something. It's a very good film, and A21 I've noticed, and I have several of their movies, and I have realized that there were A21 films are very good. Like they psychologically make you think.
Right.
So
it's character, psychological character focus.
exactly.
Like
So her sister creating triple deletion by by doing it to herself, to herself and her parents, broke her down. Like she was mentally broken. Like she already went to therapy. She was mentally broken. The boyfriend was gonna break up with her, but because of what happened, he paused. He didn't do it. So he was just staying with her out of, oh, I feel sorry for you, so that's why I'm with you, but I don't want to be with you because you're an emotional baggage that I don't want to deal with. That's how they looked at it.
How long were they together?
That I don't think they
never
no, they never expanded on the longevity of their relationship, but basically the beginning of the
crazy.
Yeah, basically the beginning of the movie, it was kind of basically just saying that she was talking to one of her girlfriends, and she was basically saying, I feel like I'm an emotional baggage to him. I'm always laying out what's wrong with me, my issues, my problems, and then of course his boys were sitting with him and saying, when are you going to break up with this girl? So he felt bad. He didn't do it. Invited her to the trip. So she was never supposed to be there.
Oh, wow.
It was supposed to be an all-guys trip.
It was like a bad omen.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be an all-guys trip. But in the end, she ended up becoming, just giving into the crazy.
Oh, yeah? So
Yeah.
she just joined them?
Yes. Because they're like, oh, you can choose this guy or you can choose your boyfriend, which couldn't talk because they gave him a drug that paralyzed him.
Oh, they didn't kill him?
No, he did. They sacrificed him. He was one of the 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he burned alive, but because he couldn't talk or he was paralyzed, he didn't scream.
That's tough.
So, but no, it was a very good film. It's a very good psychological film. There's so much to talk about, but I can't really sit down and divulge and kind of discuss the entire thing.
The layers.
Yeah. But it's like there's so much psychological aspect that goes into it, and that's how I was breaking it down. I was looking at it from how much mental trauma can somebody take, and they're showing you the different perspectives, not just from the man, but from the female perspective too. Like the guy's like, I'm with this girl that I don't want to be with, but I have to keep playing nice because I don't want her to lose her shit because she lost so much. But then the girl's like, I have to cater to him because I don't want him to make him think that I'm crazy, so I keep pretending to be something that I'm not. And it's like at the end, she's like, the straw that broke the camel's back is just seeing him sleeping with the chick so they can continue to. Yeah, of course they did.
That's a setup.
And then she's like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. So at the end of the film, she started smiling.
I guess I'm crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but no, it's a very good film.
What was it, Midnight Gospel? It feels good to be a zombie.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then what I noticed is I do have the film Midsummer. I just never watched it. I just realized that I have it, but I just never watched it. So it's like part of my A21 collection. I've seen all the A21 films that I've purchased, like Hereditary, The Witch, like that's all A21 films. And I realized that they have one goal. It's a psychological thinker. It makes you think about the different perspectives and aspect. It follows. That's also A21. I didn't know that, and I have that film too. So it's like it's
fire.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a very good film, and I recommend it to anybody. It's on HBO Max if you want to watch it. But no. Yeah, that's kind of what I just wanted to end off with. It's just it's a very good film. There's nothing else I can really say about it. I mean, but overall, like, I mean, it's been a good week. I mean, been enjoying the vacation. We've been getting a lot of. Oh, we put on your serpentine belt. I have micro cuts everywhere, but it's okay.
Man, I really want it. Man, you don't understand. You know what I think went wrong the last time?
We did it.
No, the guy that was
the old guy. No, yeah, he didn't know what he was talking about.
He didn't know. He just kept giving.
Because that young kid that helped us, he's like, yeah, the guy gave you the wrong belt. This is the right one.
Right.
He just kept giving us the next one up, the next one up, the next one up.
He just kept going up every single size instead of giving us the actual belt for that make and model.
Yes.
So it was just a guessing game, and we'd end up driving back and forth. But like when we actually finally got the correct belt, like it just kind of snapped into place. And because it was so easy, the way it snapped into place, like I questioned it. I was like, "You're like Jeff, we got it," and I was like, "No, we didn't." And you're like, "Yeah, we did." I was like, "Bullshit."
I'm like, Jeff, let it go. I know you were pissed off at me because I kept fucking up, but
No, Jeff, that's a trial in patience. I shouldn't be mad at you because it's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm angry, but not at you. I'm just angry at the situation. You know what I'm saying? People think, oh man, I'm mad at you because you're making it worse. No, it just sucks that we have to deal with this situation. Your input into it isn't what's making me upset. It's just, damn, shit happens. Like I know shit's gonna happen.
yeah, for sure.
It's just the inconvenience of
But we got it.
happening. But we actually did
We
get
got
it.
it. So,
We actually did got it.
but yeah, that was an accomplishment because I know we did an entire episode about the Serpentine belt. Like, we didn't get it on, but we learned how to put it on, and then we
6 months later.
6 months later, we did it again. Hey, man, when you don't have time,
6 months
when you
later.
have so much that you're doing and you don't have time, it's
Oh,
understandable.
man.
So I get it.
No, I had to. That shit was embarrassing, bro.
Yeah. Well, your car was doing wee wee wee
Yeah.
wee wee. So
Like that Geico commercial.
yeah.
What the
So
fuck?
no. Yeah. So we got that on, and that felt very good.
And then I was flooring that motherfucker.
Yeah, and then we tested it out too.
I just got to buy the new
Your car was flying.
the wiring. Get a new wiring harness.
I saw
redo
that you got that in your Amazon cart.
Yep.
So
Oh, and guess what? I still have that. Whatchamacallit, that amp.
in the back of the car.
In the back of the car.
So once you get the new wiring,
Not the one for the subs, but the one that I bought that came with the subs. Like
Gotcha.
you paired it with it. So, well, I got to buy a new fuse. I got to buy entire new wiring harness.
Mhm.
Got to like pull the entire dash out. Like do everything. Probably might need new speakers. All of that crap. But
Okay.
that's a project in its own. I just want to get the car 100%, like in terms of, its performance, what it's doing, all the parts,
especially what it's worth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That is that's a rare car. And the further we get away from production, the more rare it becomes because they will never release that trim ever again.
No, it was a 2012 only
It was a
trim,
limited
which is why
run.
so many people want it. So
No. It ran from 2010 to 2013.
okay.
It was a limited run, and then they cut that entire trim level out. Like, and even in that body style, that's the only body style they really offered that aggressive, sporty look. Everything after that just looked like a turtle.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm
So that
saying?
makes sense.
Every single one looked like a turtle.
That makes sense.
So I want to keep that. Even if the engine fails, I could always, look forward to doing a swap because I know it uses the same engine archetype as the Genesis Coupe 2.0 and 3.0.
Okay.
But it's just the actual engine bay would need to be, worked on
Gotcha.
because there's no space in
Gotcha.
it
Okay.
at all.
It's gonna be another project.
Yeah,
But
but not this time.
got anything else, sir? Any last
do
words?
No, I'm hungry.
Is it that time?
I think it's that time.
All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. If you want to catch and watch our ugly mugs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and now YouTube Music. We also have our YouTube channel, One Word, Tabletop Topics, our Triple T's Clips channel, and our TikTok. So if you click on the link, it'll take you directly to the episodes. And of course, we have timestamps so you can navigate throughout. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and of course, leave us a comment. Again, guys, thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. You have a good night, weekend, evening, and day, and we'll see you on Thursday.
See ya.